Hello there folks, and how is it going? And welcome back to another video, and welcome to a little review video. Now, I did allude to some review videos lined up for you guys in my last video, so this is the first of those. Now, this video is about the wonderful gear from the fantastic folks over at OTEX, who make gloves, hats, and all sorts of wonderful photography apparel, that will certainly aid you on your journey to getting those shots. And I have been sent some of their stuff to review for this channel. Now, the business end of things out of the way first. I'm not being paid or anything like that for this review, and they're not looking at this video before it goes live or any of that kind of fun stuff. It was just a straight up exchange for the gear for this video. But I keep saying this video. I am actually going to break this review up into 3 separate videos that I'm going to post today, tomorrow, and the next day, because I have 3 individual sets of gear. I have some gloves, which are absolutely fantastic, and y'all know I love a good beanie. And then the piece de resistance, folks, are these absolutely wonderful waterproof socks. I'm not going to do any spoiler alerts yet, so we'll just sit and talk about the gloves first. First things first though, also as well, I have to give an absolutely massive shout out to Mark, who is the chap that I've been dealing with. The dude's a gem, so fair play to you, Mark. I really appreciate everything. Yeah, the customer service in general has just been absolutely outstanding, so appreciate it. Thank you. So it's hard now to look at products like these gloves, is where we are starting today, without comparing them to their kind of obvious competition, which is essentially the Valorette brand, or I think I said that correct, which I did a review for last time. And it was actually somebody who commented on that particular video that led me to the OTEX crowd. The Valorette gloves, as we know, they tend to be a bit pricey, and when I got in touch with the OTEX guys, Mark, he was absolutely more than happy to send over some stuff and just to compare. But I don't want to necessarily make this like are OTEX better than Valorette kind of video. I just want to talk about the OTEX stuff. I may mention the Valorette stuff, but as I say, I just want to kind of keep this, central and focused on the OTEX stuff. Now, I do have some lovely B-roll that we have been taking, and I shall overlay that, so it won't just be my mad face you're looking at here, folks. Also, as well, I have to say thanks so much, because Mark, fair play to him, he sent out a pair of gloves for Senior Spielbergo. Orla loves a good glove, and who doesn't? And so fair play to him. Orla has been getting absolutely tremendous use out of these. As you know, she helps me a lot with these videos, and fair play to her having a pair of gloves too. So we're like glove buddies. I don't know how cool that is, but anyways, let us fire on indeed. Now, the first thing that I have to give absolute massive props to in relation to these gloves is the level of comfort that they offer. They are far superior to any other glove that I have ever really worn, and the insulation on them, I love a good bit of Thinsulate, and this has 3 mil of Thinsulate in them, and they're incredibly comfortable, folks. Really, you can absolutely take my word for it, and I'm not just saying that, but they are super duper comfortable and bananas warm. They're really so warm indeed. Now, you might be thinking, who's wearing gloves and hats in 36-degree heat in Portugal? But I obviously have had these now since before we left on our adventure, and have certainly tested them in the cold weather as we have travelled before our poor little van decided to break down, but we won't go on about that. Like I say, they have really stood the test of time for me, and Orla in particular as well. Orla has like icicles for fingers, and so it's really been a treat for her to stay warm when out helping me film these videos. Now, obviously with photography gloves, the kind of main attraction to them, if you will, is the fact that they go on your hand, and then they have these wonderful flippable fingers. And the magnets on these are super duper strong. I haven't had any issues in relation to them, you know, trying to come loose or flip back over my finger or anything like that. And they're just wonderfully strong. Another thing that I have to also mention too as well is that I am a watch guy, and with the other gloves, I have to say they weren't very comfortable with a watch. But these, they have this, which is kind of like, you know, it's got this extra little flap in here that basically just means that I can kind of contour a bit easier. Oh, we're sticking together. Contour a bit easier to your wrist. And I find having a watch can be quite cumbersome when you're trying to wear gloves. Obviously you still need to know what time it is, and these have proven to be wonderful in that regard. And with the kind of touch screen kind of finger vibe that they have going on here too, I can still swipe. Not that I generally swipe a huge amount when I'm taking photographs, but just in case I need to have the weather and all sorts of fun stuff on this. And of course with your phone, then it makes it super easy to navigate your settings on your phone. But really overall, just been absolutely thrilled with the gloves. But like I say, I'm going to try and keep these a bit short and sweet, just to try and keep them a bit concise for you guys. Between these and the other gloves, I have to give it to these gloves. The level of waterproofing that's on these in comparison to the other ones are like far superior. The other ones are kind of like resistant, whereas these lads are like waterproof, so there's no messing with these fellas. Now I must say, I have that, and that's one thing that's really kind of you know, stood out to me in comparison. And so that's been a real treat to stay nice and warm and dry. So that's really fantastic. So really, like, just to wrap it up a bit here, I have links down below. They're not affiliate links or anything along those lines. They're just links because I don't tend to do reviews often, as you folks know, and if I ever do get the opportunity to do them, I want it to be, you know, something that I genuinely believe in, and something that I believe that anybody who watches these videos could get some you know, good information from. So if you ever find yourself in the market for some good and insanely reasonably priced photography gloves, I absolutely would highly recommend you give the OTEX guys a look. They're Australian based, but the shipping is super duper fast, and I love Australia. Let's be honest, it's a smashing place, and anybody who has the opportunity to visit there absolutely should. So yeah, wonderful folks. And again, Mark, fair play to Mark for everything. But I'll leave it here, folks. So I'm not going to sign off in any kind of significant way, because tomorrow's video will just be a continuation of this. But for now, I will say cheers, and cheers to the OTEX gloves, and I will see you all tomorrow for the next one. Take it easy, everybody.